Hey, in this lesson, we're gonna go over the 8-angle blocks plus the counters, okay? So we know the 8-angle blocks by now, right? If not, go back and check the 8-angle block videos. All right, so if she's throwing at angle 1, we know that we can do a roof block, or we can do this kind of point up deflection. So we're gonna start off with our roof block. As she throws at angle 1, I'm gonna hit, wrap around, and then hit with an angle 1 of my own, so a little bit quicker. So I wanna keep that motion going. I don't wanna stop here, right? Do the strike. She goes through. I don't wanna stop and then go. This should all be one motion. I'm raising up and spinning it around again for that. Okay, so that is for the roof block, a roof to a 1. The second one is gonna be, this is still angle 1, it's gonna be point up. So if she goes point up, I'm gonna come back with an angle 2. So I'll go here and then back down, angle 2 again. One more time. Okay, so those are the two main options that you're gonna have for an angle 1 strike. Not the only options, but two relatively easy and quick options. The next is gonna be angle 2. So with angle 2, I'm gonna start off this one with a shield block, and just like with the roof, I want it to shield and come right around. I don't wanna shield, hold it, hold it, hold it, and then go. It all has to happen basically in one count. So whenever she throws an angle 2, up and wrap around. Again, up and wrap around. Now when I'm doing this, I need to make sure that my hand is a little bit higher than most of my weapon. If it's kind of the same, she's just gonna end up sliding down and hitting into my hand. So it's gotta be a little bit higher, and then I wanna immediately wrap around. So swing all the way through. Again. All right, so pop, pop. All right, so the second version for angle 2 is going to be that point up, and notice it's a little bit tilted. It's not completely point up because I want to be perpendicular with her weapon. So when she goes here, I'm gonna go through, and then I have the option of going back down on a 1, or some of the time I'll wrap it and go towards an 8. So again. All right, so I'm hitting, and then as her weapon goes through mine, boom. If you guys go too slow, you'll see when we go too slow, the weapons kind of get stuck and it messes things up. Right? Ideally, if you would be able to hear me, I would have my mask on and she would be just trying to actually hit me in the head, and it gives a little bit more realistic of a feel. So when you're practicing this, both of you should be wearing masks, and ideally gloves as well so you don't hurt yourself, and actually try to make some contact whenever you're doing this. One more time. Here. All right, so now we're gonna move on to angle 3. Angle 3 is going to come back with either an angle 2 or an angle 8. So she throws the 3, angle 8, again 3, or I can hit with an angle 2 as my counter, right? So I'm blocking point up, inside point up deflection, angle 2 or angle 8. Either one of those will work. 4 is very similar to 3. I'm gonna go outside point up deflection, and I'm gonna come back with an angle 1 or again with an angle 8. Depending on how much of a flick I do, if I do more of a flick, I typically come down with more of an 8. If I go more of just this opening motion, then I'll close again with an angle 1. And that kind of changes, right? Sometimes I don't even choose, it just happens, okay? So practice both variations. She goes, throws it, I open, and then I come back with an angle 1. Again, if I flip it around a little bit more, then I come back down with an angle 8, right? So you have, again, different options, but I'm doing that same block going outside. If I flick more, I wrap it. If I keep more of a sturdy wrist, then I come back with the 1. All right, the next one is gonna be an angle 5. With an angle 5, I'm gonna do a drop stick and then hit with a more of a hacking strike on this, but it's gonna be an angle 4 on my counter. So she goes angle 5, and again. So I'm blocking downwards as her weapon goes through, then I pop right up. So pop down, pop up. Again, pop down, pop up. One more time, down, up. Okay, angle 6. Again, I'm gonna use the avoidance step with this. I'm gonna do a outside low block and then come back down with an angle 8. So she goes angle 6, again, again, one more time. All right, so it also depends. If she's trying to hit my leg, then this is much more necessary, doing that outside step. If she's hitting more torso, then I'm gonna be a little bit higher with this. So this height really depends on what I think that she's trying to hit. Now, sometimes I guess wrong, and I think that she's trying to hit the torso and I'm up higher and then my leg gets hit. That just comes with more sparring. The more you spar, the more you're gonna be able to identify where they're actually trying to hit you. Okay, so the next one is gonna be angle 7, but we're gonna use the straight thrust for an angle 7. I'm gonna go with a parry, and it's gonna be similar to when I went down with that drop stick and came back. I'm gonna go parry, and I'm gonna do more of a hacking strike with either an angle 1 or an angle 2 or an angle 4 as my counter. So she goes here, and I could hit 8, could hit 4, could hit 2. Now, if I'm on, and that's if I'm doing an inside parry. Now, if I'm on the outside parry line, right, so I'm on this side, I'm gonna come back with a 1 or an 8, but maybe, good, a 3. If you notice though, her arm was already in the way when I did the 3, which is one of the reasons why I kind of like to go back on top, because right, if she goes here and I press it out of the way, a lot of times they go back for this wrap. So if I try to hit a 3, inadvertently her weapon's just in the way. But if she goes for that thrust, I knock it out of the way, and then I just come right down this line with an 8 or a 1, I'm much less likely to accidentally hit her weapon. Yep, so inside or outside, you're gonna come back usually with, if you go inside, with an angle 2 or 8. If you go outside with a 1 or an 8 as your counter. And so the last one's gonna be our angle 8 block counters. So like I talked about in the blocking video, if she's closer to in between an angle 1 and an angle 8, then I'm gonna go roof block. If she's closer to a angle 2 and an angle 8 in between that section, then I'll go shield block. Right? So these are gonna be the same counters as angle 1 and angle 2 when you're doing the roof and the shield. So if she goes a little bit closer to the angle 1 line from here, I'm gonna wrap this way. If she goes a little bit closer to the angle 2 line, I'm gonna go shield and wrap this way. One more time. Okay, so now I'm gonna have her stand right here. So now I'm gonna call out the strike that she's gonna do, and then I'm gonna do the counter. It's gonna be kind of slow, but if you have a partner, go ahead and do it along with us. Even if you don't have a partner, pretend that you're me and she's attacking at you and you're gonna be blocking her. Yep, so she's gonna go angle 1, angle 1 again. Now she's gonna go angle 2, angle 2 again, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, and we'll do angle 7 again for the outside, angle 8, and angle 8 again. Okay, so hopefully you see that it's kind of the same thing for a lot of these, right? That means you don't really need to know a whole lot of different block counters. You really only need a few, and then you have to get good at them. And really the hardest part about all of this is just seeing, what is she gonna hit me with, right? And that's where the sparring progressions come in. So for even more training and techniques, make sure that you check out the School Let's Train Martial Arts community.